Good morning, we're live and waiting for your calls. Today we're finding out how the police deal with the toughest situations.
I'm back at West Yorkshire Police Training Centre where I'm going to be finding out how police officers learn how to fire a taser.
Trained officers, stay where you are, look at the door, look at your chest.
Also, the callous thief who pretended he was only there to help.
The money that I had in the house was money that I'd been saving for months. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I am upset.
And a dramatic development in the search for the Holy Grail. You're watching Crimewatch Roadshow. Hello and welcome to the last Crimewatch Roadshow for this week. As ever, we're relying on your calls, so do keep them coming. Also, on the show this morning. 7 years after Adam was killed by masked gunmen, his parents need you to identify his killers.
The person who fired that shot, he must be such a bad person, and he needs to be arrested and be put behind bars.
And the robbers so desperate to find gold, they stooped to threatening kids.
He said you've got 5 seconds to find the locker keys, otherwise he's going to kill me.
Today, Michelle's with West Yorkshire Police at the Cargate Training Centre near Wakefield, and it looks like there's some pretty scary stuff going on there, Michelle.
Yes, Rav, but this is just a training exercise. I'm here in the outdoor riot area where police officers learn how to deal with anything that might happen where they're in the line of duty. There's a lot of smoke coming off here now, and I predict that a riot might be happening here a little later on.
Very dramatic. But first today, help us catch a nasty con man who took advantage of an elderly woman's trusting nature.
Pearl's garden is her pride and joy.
I love it. I was taught how to be a gardener when I've been about 6 years old. My garden and my house are the most precious things that I have.
But at 88 years old, Pearl has been finding it harder and harder to keep her beloved garden looking good.
I just thought to myself, past doing it because I've damaged my foot, and so, I will have to give in now.
So when a gardener came to the door looking for work, it seemed to be just what she needed.
Oh yeah, you got some garden work to do?
Oh, yes, please.
I asked him to tidy the garden up, for starters, and then to give the patio a right good wash down. I asked how much it would cost me, and he said £140.
I'm just on my way out, though. Could you come back later?
Ah, no problem. See you later.
I said to him, well, I can't have you just now. Will you come back about 1:30? That's when I'll be coming back from the club.
The man agreed to come back later in the day. Pearl went off to her social club, but then felt unwell and returned home early. There was a surprise waiting for her.
This young man was there already.
You're early.
Using this heavy hose pipe and the water, and I thought it looked a bit untidy, but you've got to give him a chance.
His actions began to make Pearl suspicious.
It didn't look right for the job that he was doing. You would have thought it had a different kind of clothing.
Then she noticed a van parked outside her house, with a man sitting in it.
I thought it was strange because he should have been helping because it was a two-man's job, and that should have given me a warning. But, you don't think about things like that when you're not very good.
Shrugging off her suspicions, Pearl decided to get the money ready to pay the gardener. She had been saving to redecorate her house and was keeping her cash in an envelope.
I'll get my money out of the envelope that I keep my money in, and I have never had the amount in as I had that day.
counted out the £140 payment and left it on the table with the rest of her cash. But the workman was watching her every move.
And he came in and picked the envelope up and took it. And I'm looking, oh my God, he's taking it. So I saw him dash off. I did not even have time to get the number of the van. You know, it was an awful shock.
The bogus gardener stole £510 and left Pearl's garden in a terrible state.
When he left, made such a horrible mess. It was simply terrible, and I didn't know actually just what to do, you know, because it was filthy everywhere, and it damaged my garden, and it took a long while for me to, you know, get it straightened up.
We're looking for a white youth that attended at Pearl's house. He was aged late teens, early 20s. He was wearing a blue wool knit jacket and dark trousers, and he spoke with a Yorkshire accent. I've met Pearl on numerous occasions. She's a lovely old lady, and it's just absolutely, it's disgusting that people can come into people's homes, you know, and do these sort of things to the elderly.
Pearl has had to clean up the garden herself, and she is now much more cautious.
Made me very wary of anyone coming to my door, and I never opened the door unless I pulled my blind back and looked to see who was there. The money that I had in the house was money that I'd been saving for months. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I am upset.
Such a nasty crime. Let's take another look at the e-fit of this baby-faced thief. If you were in the Meanwood area of Leeds on February the 24th and recognise this man, the numbers are on your screen now to get in touch. Right. If no one's ever heard of a taser before, then the man in the know when it comes to taser training is with me now, Inspector Richard Corkwell. We've got one here for you to see. But first of all, just what is it and how does it work?
Yes, morning, Michelle. In simple terms, a taser is an electrical device. When it's in a firing mode, we have a cartridge. Wires come out of that, small darts on the end. They make contact with the body, and that causes what we call muscular incapacitation.
OK, and what are the advantages of using a taser?
Yeah, it's a very, very effective, less lethal option for the police. So in serious, violent situations, if we didn't have this, we'd be looking at other options such as police dogs, batons, or even conventional firearms, all carry a higher risk of injury. So this gives us a far more effective, safer option to resolve situations. OK,
that makes sense. Well, we're going to go through a training scenario with a taser now, so set the scene for me. What are we going to do? OK,
we've got a really serious, dangerous situation at the moment. We've got a male suspect in the house. He's got a baseball bat. He's seriously injured, a member of the public. It's an absolute priority to get into this house, secure the arrest, and make this all safe. OK, guys, go.
Gareth, come to the door! No! Gareth, come to the door now, please! No!
So we'll go in and follow.
Okay.
Gareth, put the weapon down! Look at your chest, Gareth, look at your chest! Look at your chest, Gareth, the red dot! Look at that! Taser! You're now being tasered, Gareth, you're now being tasered. Just don't move. Just stay as you are.
Richard, this is an extreme situation, isn't it?
It is. Let me emphasise here, Michelle, very extreme situation, very dangerous. This is a rarity. It doesn't happen every day. So in West Yorkshire, yeah, we deal with up to 1,000 emergency calls a day. We fire taser on average once a week. And it's really important for the public to know that. Taser use in a non-firing mode is at 80%. Those are national figures. This is a far lower percentage of use. Extreme, but proportionate and reasonable in the circumstances.
It's really, really interesting to see it in action as well, and I think it's invaluable, obviously, for the officers to be able to understand when they use it, why they use it.
Yes, the officers are highly trained. They know that they're accountable under the law, and every taser use will be scrutinised by a senior officer to make sure that it was lawful, appropriate, proportionate
and reasonable. It's
Richard.
about the accountability.
Thank you very much. Raf, join me in a little while where I'll be finding out a bit more about petrol bomb training.
Yep, look forward to that. Next, and for the last time this week, take a look at these crooks going about their business. All you need to do is tell us who they are, and watch out. The first one of these is a nasty one.
Croydon, South London, and a bus driver in the high vis is on his break when a tall man in a dark coat walks up to him. Suddenly, the man headbutts the driver in the face. The driver tries to defend himself, but the man continues his attack. Police say the attacker was on the driver's bus earlier that afternoon. He lost his temper when he stumbled into a pole as the bus pulled away and shouted at the driver. Can you name this crazy commuter? It's 10:30 at night in Eastwood in Nottinghamshire, and this man's going shopping with a crowbar. Police say he arrives in a red car, though not the one you can see, and parks out of shot. He's in no rush and checks to see if the coast is clear. Moments later, he enters the shop with his face covered. But he's getting nowhere fast on this side of the tills, so he changes tactic. He tries another one and levers out the drawer, which contains over 400 quid. Detectives think he returns to a red Honda Civic and drives off. Perhaps you saw him heading towards Eastwood Town Centre. You know what you need to do. OK, can someone turn the lights on, please? That's better. Now, who do we have here? Two sneaky burglars by the looks of it. They've broken into a working men's club in Pemberton, Wigan, and are after the bank holiday weekend's takings. They try to open a safe with a key they've found, but it ain't budging, so they use a crowbar. Bingo, it's open, so they steal 5 grand in cash. Next, they jemmy another safe and snaffle coins and till drawers. But they're running out of hands, so they empty a box of crisps and carry the dosh home in that. Sorted. Or should that be ready salted? OK, let's bag these crispy crooks.
Spot anyone you can put a name to? If so, give us a call on 08000 468 999. Calls are free from most landlines. Some network and mobile operators will charge for these calls. You can text us too on 63399. Text CW space and then your message. Or you can email address, that's the email address there, cwr@bbc.co.uk. Now, this week, a family in Leeds marked a tragic anniversary. 7 years ago, a masked gunman shot and killed 20-year-old carpet fitter Adam Chadwick. Police believe someone out there knows who murdered him, and today his parents are appealing again for those people to come forward.
Adam spent the evening of the 24th of June 2008 at the house his sister shared with her boyfriend in the Hare Hills area of Leeds.
They were so close as a brother and sister. When Gemma got her own place, he loved going down and being down there and spending time with Gemma. They're just so strong, both of them together.
Put that on, click on that.
At around 9:30 p.m. that night, a woman knocked on the door asking for someone called Michelle.
Oh, don't put that.
Is Michelle in?
I don't like it.
Who was that?
Oh, just some girl looking for someone called Michelle.
Click on that.
Then, at around 10:30 p.m, the same woman came back again.
Is Michelle in?
No, I've already told you she doesn't live here.
Just want Michelle.
7 years on, Adam's parents still recall the night with horror.
We'd gone to bed, hadn't we? We'd only been in bed about half an hour. We got a phone call. It was Gemma. It's like really like panicking, and she sort of like says, "Adam's been shot." And we were sort of like, "What?" So I just think it's like a air pistol or something. So I says, right, all right, we'll be there in 2 minutes. I put the phone down. We both just shot out of bed and we got dressed. We drove like a maniac down to the house. And when we got there, it was just chaos.
Adam died in hospital the next day, aged just 20. A few days earlier, he'd celebrated his daughter Ruby's 3rd birthday. Police in West Yorkshire have never given up hope of bringing Adam's killers to justice. 3 years ago, they hoped this CCTV would bring them new leads in the case. The footage shows 3 men stealing the car, which was later used as a getaway vehicle by the gang. It was a Ford Focus C-Max, registration YH54SBV. CCTV also shows 3 men walking away down Shoalbrook Avenue in Leeds, near to where the car was found dumped shortly after the shooting. And detectives still need to trace this person. She is the woman who knocked on the door twice that evening, asking for Michelle.
So they might be searching the conscious, how the conscious might be picking them, so they maybe feel guilty what happened that night. And hopefully they'll feel that they're safe to come forward and give information to help catch the people or the person who actually fired the shot.
And of course, police crucially need names for the 3 balaclava-clad men who tried to force their way into the house that night. One of whom was responsible for that fatal gunshot which killed Adam.
It still affects us, it still affects Gemma.
Yeah, we just try and be strong as a family and support each other, and Ruby helps a lot now because she keeps us busy.
The person who fired that shot, he must be such a bad person, and he needs to be arrested and be put behind bars, really. And hopefully that anyone has information, they do come forward and just help us to get that closure.
A really tragic case there. I'm with Detective Chief Inspector James Dunkley. James, it's been 7 years since that murder, and you're hoping that witnesses will now come forward.
Yes, it's been 7 long years for Adam's family who've been devastated by his murder. And I'm hopeful that after 7 years, people within the community may have a different view on talking to the police and giving us information regarding this case. I'm hoping loyalties have changed.
And there is a reward, isn't there, to encourage people?
There is. A local businessman has offered a further £7,000 reward, so we now have a £12,000 reward for information leading to the conviction of Adam's killers.
That's a lot of money to entice people to come forward, isn't it?
It's a fantastic sum, and I just hope it's the catalyst that we need.
And let's have a look at the CCTV again of the woman at the door.
Yes, this female knocked at the door immediately before Adam was shot, and I would appeal to her to come forward. She's described as about 5 feet 6 inches tall. She's in her mid to late 20s, a white female, and I believe she's local and in the area, and people in the area will know her.
And that was an EFIT, wasn't it?
That was an EFIT.
And what about the 3 masked men?
Yeah, the 3 principal offenders are 3 black males, about 5 feet 10 inches tall, in the mid-20s. And we can see them running off along Shoalbrook Avenue in Hare Hills immediately after the shooting.
OK, and we've got some CCTV of that as well, haven't we?
That's right. So we have, let's say, 3 offenders. So if anybody knows who these people are, please give me a call, give Crime Stoppers a call.
James, thank you very much. As James said, please do give Crime Stoppers a call if you want to do it anonymously. The number is 0800 555 111 RAV.
Now, with reports of dangerous skin whitening creams in the news recently and some African countries banning their use, trading standards here in the UK are cracking down on products which make their way into this country. Sheila Roberts from Trading Standards and dermatologist Dr. Maria Gonzalez join me now. Good morning to you both. And Maria, first of all, why do people use these creams and what are the risks?
So these creams actually have quite a legitimate therapeutic role because we use them under prescription to treat pigmentary problems which we see developing in women who have been pregnant, and there's a condition known as melasma which responds very well to this treatment. But that same lightening property of the creams makes them very useful for people who just want to lighten the colour of their skin generally.
OK, so there is a legitimate use, but it's when it's misused. We can see on the screen here some of the dangers that can happen if you do use it in the wrong way.
Yeah, so one of the problems is the product is extremely irritant, but also, as you can see from the image, that it can actually worsen pigmentation, which obviously defeats the purpose of doing this.
Of course. Now, Sheila, your Trading Standards office have been clamping down, haven't they, on the sale of these types of creams because of some of those risks?
Yeah, yes, we have. There was a London-wide project, and in Newham we carried out raids of 5 shops, and these are some examples. We found the products in 4 of those shops. Some of these have got very high levels of the banned substance.
And it's typically the ones that we've got just an example of here. So the level of the active ingredient in this one is too high for safe use, isn't it?
It's 8%, which is very high. That was the highest found in London.
OK, so very, very dangerous to use that on your own skin. And in the boxes there, you actually think these are counterfeit?
We do. This is a legitimate product that has been tested and is safe to use. However, what is inside the box isn't what should be inside the box.
Yes.
So we believe that's been imported and then repackaged in a counterfeit way.
So, again, so incredibly dangerous to put that on your own skin, of course. Now, Maria, why do people from certain communities feel the need to use these types of creams?
OK, so I'm originally from the Caribbean, so I'm kind of aware of these practices, and there are certain pockets in the Caribbean, like Jamaica, in which this is widely done. And if you speak to patients from there and from here who are using it, and they tend to be from Caribbean, African and Asian backgrounds, they believe that it improves their prospects in life, that they marry wealthier men, that they perhaps get better jobs. And whether this is true or not, those sort of cultural viewpoints continue here.
And Sheila, what are trading standards doing to stop this happening?
Initially, we take the product, we seize it, we take it off the shelves and take it out of sale. Then we trace back the supply line and try and take it out of supply from everywhere. We also take action against irresponsible shop owners who don't take out the correct checks to make sure that what they're selling is safe, because customers have got a right to expect that whatever is on the shelves is safe to use, and these quite clearly are not safe to use.
Yeah, and of course you want more information from people if they do see this sort of thing being sold, don't you?
It is difficult because they don't always label correctly, and the product is sometimes a hidden product. It's not on the ingredients anyway. But if anybody's got any doubts, then they need to contact their local trading standards department and they will look into it. OK, thank you both for joining us. Very interesting, that. Still to come on today's programme. Michelle's getting a very special driving lesson using the police's latest training tool.
Oh my gosh! My heart is just beating.
And we reveal the dramatic breakthrough in the search for the cup thought to be the Holy Grail.
Before that, police here in West Yorkshire want to speak to 2 men about a series of burglaries that all happened on the same day last month. DI Sue Buxton has been investigating the break-ins. What happened?
On Monday, the 18th of May, we had a series of burglaries in affluent areas across a wide area. The offences started on a route in Ackworth, where we had 3 burglary dwellings. The offenders then moved down to South Hindley, where we had a further offence, and then in Chapeltown in the Sheffield area of South Yorkshire.
And the men have been caught on CCTV in the areas where all these crimes took place?
They have. That's why we know that they're connected and by the same MO. The descriptions are a taller male with a bald head, wearing a grey anorak and tracksuit bottoms, a smaller male with dark hair, wearing a distinctive grey and light-coloured hoodie-type jacket.
And so altogether, what did these men get away with?
At 2 of the properties in Ackworth, we've had high-value jewellery and watches stolen. One lady has lost a £14,000 solitaire ring, which obviously is of great sentimental monetary value as well. We'd very much like to get that back and bring these offenders to justice.
And they went to South Hindley too, didn't they?
Yes, at South Hindley, again, we've picked them up on CCTV. On this occasion, the taller male has lost the tracksuit bottoms and is now wearing grey shorts.
And they ended up in Chapeltown near Sheffield?
They did. They didn't steal anything from there, but again, they've used the common MO where a brick from the garden has been used to smash the patio window and gain access.
Sue, thank you very much. If you recognise these men, you know what to do. The numbers are on your screen. Rav.
Now, as we've just heard, it's bad enough when burglars steal from your home when you're out. Unfortunately, this Bradford family were enjoying a Saturday afternoon in when a gang of armed robbers burst through the door.
Family is everything to the Shahs.
Before I had this family, I've always imagined my family to be the way it is, and it's basically a dream come true. And I'm lucky to have them.
They've lived in the same house in Bradford for nearly 20 years and never had cause to worry about their security until a recent spate of burglaries.
The reason I put CCTV on my house, there was lots of going on in my area, and I just wanted to make sure my family and my house and my belongings are safe.
But last summer, even that CCTV couldn't protect them from crime. The family had just enjoyed lunch with a friend, and Dad Zamir had gone to work. Their helpful guest had begun to tackle a pile of ironing.
My mum's friend was in the kitchen and she screamed. So my mum got up and a man held a knife to my mum's friend's throat.
He's pushing her in the sitting room and she's screaming.
He told us all to sit down and he said ask him for money and gold.
He said, just give me your gold or money. I said to him, look, I have no gold.
Tell me where the gold is!
And no money in home. And when he said, I'm killing you, my kids, they are very scared, and my friend, she's screaming.
Don't you move!
He's saying that I'll kill everyone if you don't give me the gold and money.
And the threats were about to get worse.
Took the knife on my elder son's neck and he said, if you don't give me gold or money, I'm kill your son.
Nahid finally agreed to hand over the money she had upstairs.
So he took me upstairs.
Come on, move!
And I have some money, £500-600 in my bag, and I give him.
Right, downstairs, move!
The robber wasn't satisfied. Instead, he seemed to become more angry.
He said, give me your gold. I said, look, I have no gold.
Please leave it. I'll show you where it is. Please don't hurt my mom.
Elder son, he said, you come with me upstairs and find where's your mummy, is hide the gold and you give me.
Open it! I said open it!
I don't have the keys, I don't have the keys! When I couldn't find the keys, I felt really scared that he was going to do something.
Scared for his brother's life, Hashir revealed he knew where the key was.
Get up! Get up! Come on, get up!
Now it was his turn to be marched upstairs.
He said that you've got 5 seconds to find the locker keys, otherwise he's gonna kill me.
Quickly!
The robbers spent just 7 minutes in the house and stole thousands of pounds worth of jewellery and a watch. The family has been left very, very afraid.
I don't feel safe in my home anymore because of what happened, and I don't think that nothing can ever change that.
It's affected me an awful lot. I don't feel safe. I feel like they can just come back to my house any minute and just take our lives.
My son is very upset, his little one especially. His life is totally changed and he's scared all the time. He's sleeping all the night and he's screaming and he's wake up.
What they put me through, they will be putting somebody else, innocent person, through. I really don't want that. What I've been through, when I'm thinking about my children, I pray to God this not happen to any other family.
So frightening for the Shah family. Detective Sergeant Ken Robinson is here to tell us more. We caught a glimpse of the robbers on CCTV, but have you got any further descriptions for us?
Yes, we have. Suspect 1 is the male with the knife. He's described as being in his late teens, about 5'4". He's got a slim build. The complainant's describing us as having dark skin, possibly Asian or black. He was wearing a jacket with the hood tied around his face, tied really tightly.
And what about the second male?
Yeah, the second male, again, he's 5'4". He's a more chubby build, talks with a local accent. He was wearing a distinctive ski mask with 2 eye holes and no mouth hole. He was wearing a waterproof, dark-coloured jacket.
Ken, we've got some pictures of the jewellery that was stolen here. Talk us through this.
Yeah, there were 4 rings in total, and it was Asian gold that was stolen. There were 2 bangles and a lady's necklace. I want to pay particular attention to this ring here. It's quite distinctive. It's got a boxed cross pattern with studs going around the whole circumference. I'm interested to see if that was sold on the estate or anybody who's got any knowledge of it.
And there is a reward, isn't there?
There is, yes. Mr Shah has put £1,000 of his own money for information leading to the arrest and subsequent conviction of the suspects, along with the return of the jewellery.
So there's an extra incentive there if one is needed. If you know any information, please do pick up the phone and tell us more.
Now it's time to have a look at today's wanted faces, and first on the board is Mark Paul Warner here. He got a 40-month jail sentence in April 2013 for growing around £860,000 worth of cannabis. When he was released, he broke the terms of his licence though, so he's now wanted back in jail. Warner has links to Worcestershire and the West Midlands. And have a look at this man. This is Jesse Coker, although he sometimes uses the first name Abraham. Officers from the Met Police want to talk to him after a string of burglaries across south-east London, many targeting elderly people. If you do see him, you might notice that the top of the third finger on his right hand is missing. He has ties to south-east London and to Kent. Next today is convicted sex offender Hayan Aden. He's wanted for failing to keep police informed of his address. He was found guilty of sexual assault in 2011. Since then, he's supposed to register his address with the police annually, but he hasn't done so for the last 2 years. Aden has connections across London in Brent, Wembley, Harlesden and Neasden. And finally for today and this week, this is Jake Adrian Thomas. He's wanted in connection with the rape of an underage girl in Herefordshire. He's got some pretty distinctive tattoos, including a tarantula on his neck, a bulldog on his chest and a devil's head on his stomach. He's known to sleep rough and he might be living in the Shrewsbury and Leominster areas or possibly Aberystwyth in West Wales. So if you know where any of them are, do make sure you pick up the phone. You can call us on 08000 468 999 or you can text us on 63399. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. And you can email us to the address cwr@bbc.co.uk.
It's a drizzly day here in West Yorkshire, but still probably not the best time of year for me to be practising my winter driving skills. Or is it? The police here do have the answer, and believe me, they've been putting me through my paces. If you want to learn to drive on ice in the middle of summer, this is where you come. This isn't a normal looking car, so what is this bit of equipment all about?
This is to help with our skid avoidance and vehicle stability training. It's set to a control system inside the car, and I can, using the controls, replicate different traffic and weather conditions: rain, snow, sleet, ice.
Well, it'd be great to get inside the car and just see how it handles.
Come join us.
This morning, I'll be undergoing the kind of training given to new police drivers.
Let's go do it.
OK. First, I need to get used to driving the car without any interference from Kath.
We'll get a feel for the vehicle.
It feels pretty normal.
Time for a bit more practice. Then I'm set the kind of challenges faced by police drivers every day.
Let's get a couple of tests for you to see if it's all gone in and you understand exactly what it is that we've been talking about.
OK, I hope it's all sunk in. Let's go for it.
The first test will find out how I cope when the road surface is covered in ice. I'll need to stop before I hit that cone.
Unfortunately, you're one of those drivers that's not taken into account the weather conditions today, and we'll see what happens with our cone. So whenever you're ready. Stop!
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Stop!
Wow. Well, the cone's gone. It really did feel like we were skidding on ice.
Yeah.
I was pushing so hard on the brake to stop, but it wasn't stopping.
So what are you going to have to do as a driver?
Be a lot slower.
Thanks to Kath's advice, stop! This time I've slowed down enough to steer past the cone.
I just felt so much more in control with that.
And what we're going to do this time is we're going to pick up a speed of about 30 miles an hour.
Right.
And when I say now, just turn right.
Then it's time for my final test, and Kath's keeping it a complete secret.
Turn.
Oh my gosh! My heart is just beating.
The situation that you were in there was replicating aquaplaning. You've got tyres in poor condition, or there's so much water on the road surface, you will end up like floating on top of water.
That is just so scary to think that this could happen.
One of the key things is, if you are in an aquaplane situation, continue the steering in the direction that you were going in the first place. Okay. So when your front wheels regain grip, at least you're pointing in the right way. See how it's floating?
Oh my gosh.
Stop. Right, point to the direction you want to go in.
This time I managed to control the skid. Yeah, so that felt a lot better.
Well done. It's been really good, Michelle.
Hopefully I will never skid again after this.
Now we need your help to catch a vicious robber who pretended to be a council worker. DC Sarah Townsend from Sussex Police joins me now. Good morning, Sarah. This was a particularly upsetting crime for the victim, wasn't it? What happened?
It was. On the 23rd of March this year, down in Brighton, at a basement flat just off the seafront, our suspect turned up around 7:30 in the morning, pretending to work for the council, carrying out a survey on graffiti. About an hour or so later, he returned, the victim having said previously she wasn't interested. When he returned for the second time, he forced his way into the flat. He put his arms around her neck. He then tied her to a chair in the living area with foam cord, and he gagged her.
Terrible experience for the victim. And not only did he then steal from her during this ordeal, but he also had some very strange behaviour that he demonstrated, didn't he?
He did. After carrying out a search for property and taking items, he sort of alternated between very threatening behaviour and just conversing with her normally. At one point he told her that he'd had a sex change, and it used to be called Maxine.
OK, very bizarre behaviour. And now you do have some CCTV, don't you?
Yes.
Of the guy you believe is the offender.
Yes.
Talk me through this, Sarah.
Basically, this is our man here. We have a very good description from our victim. He's a black male, about 5'8" tall. He's wearing a grey hoodie. He's got a logo on it on the heart side of a V, possibly a W with wings on it. He's also wearing a coat here, dark in colour, quite a lot of pockets with some red markings on it. He's about 20 to 25. In this shop, he was spending money on a pair of Nike Karachi trainers, which was spent using cash taken out on the victim's debit cards that he stole.
So not only has he stolen from the victim during this horrendous ordeal, which lasted a long time, Sarah, didn't it? Up to about an hour in length. He's then caught here on CCTV actually spending her money on a pair of trainers.
Yes.
Unbelievably. And this has really affected her, hasn't it? You know, in a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, she's never been able to return to that flat, doesn't feel confident living in a sort of basement or ground floor level at all now.
So clearly we do need to find this person very, very quickly. Sarah, thank you for joining us. That's the man police want to speak to. Do have another look. Have a look at this image here. If you recognise him, please do get in touch straight away.
This is the outdoor riot training area, and it's outdoors for a reason. It basically gives police officers an opportunity, really, to experience real riot conditions, right down to the petrol bombing. Sergeant Joe Westerman, how do they prepare for something like this?
OK, the officers come training once a year, where we go through all the various tactics that we deal with in a public order situation. And part of that is petrol bombs, how to deal with the tactics and to get confidence in the tactics, the training, the colleagues and the equipment that they wear.
You talk about equipment, let's have a look at it.
OK.
So talk me through what we've got here.
Well, helmets, various pads, gloves, boots that offer a high degree of protection to the officers. Adds about an additional 3 stone kit to the officers, in total with everything. But the most important bit of kit is the overalls that I'm wearing. These are flame resistant and allow officers to effectively stand in flames, which is something you wouldn't do through choice for about 6-7 seconds.
So it's really equipped for petrol bombs, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What do officers need to do if they are attacked by a petrol bomb?
OK, the first thing to do is stay calm.
Yeah.
Revert to the training and the drills to putting out to get the flames off them, basically. They'll demonstrate shortly what exactly they do, but they stamp the feet, and if they still don't go out, then with fire extinguishers to put them out.
OK, well, let's have a look at it then.
OK. Safety's ready. Team 1 ready. Go!
Stop your feet! Stop your feet! Stop your feet!
Safety's ready. Team 2 ready. Go!
Stop your feet! Stop! Stop!
Oh my gosh, that is amazing to see. Join us, please, Sean. How did that feel? Was it hot?
Yeah, it does get a little bit warm, but the kit I've got on protects me from that. It's a really good kit. So.
And Joe was saying earlier just how heavy the kit is. How does it feel when you're running through the fire?
Your adrenaline's going that much, you don't feel the weight of the kit.
Really?
No, so it's afterwards you start to feel it.
And as I was watching, I was thinking the communication between you and your other officers must be so important, because especially if you're in a real-life situation, it's going to be noisy, you know, there's crowds everywhere. How do you deal with that?
Teamwork's really important when we're dealing with that. We work as a really close team, look after each other and stick together.
Is it something you enjoy, this type of training?
Love it.
Love it. I can't really see whether you're smiling or not, Sean. It's really hard with all your equipment, but thank you very much.
No problem.
It's really, really interesting. As you see, we're getting real life experience here. Hopefully these guys won't actually have to do something like this in real life, though. Rav, back to you.
Now, we've got news of a great result for the programme. A couple of weeks ago, you may remember, West Yorkshire Police came to the studio to appeal for your help to find the Nantios Cup, thought by many to be the Holy Grail. Now, it was stolen from a home near Ross-on-Wye last July. Joining me now is DS Andy Bennett from West Yorkshire Police. And Andy, you've got some great news for us.
I have, Rav. We've recovered the cup. As a result of the show, 2 weeks ago, we received an anonymous phone call. A subsequent call, we met with a male in the south of the county where we were handed the cup. We're happy that that male didn't steal the cup. And, yeah, we've got the cup back.
And here it is. Now, we'll have a look. It doesn't look to be in amazing condition, but you don't think that's anything to do with the theft? It's just the age of it?
Yeah, it's very old. It's a very delicate item. We've looked at photographs from when it was held at Nantios Mansion, and it hasn't really changed since those days. And, of course, it's been touched by people all over the world through its life, so bits have come off.
And very briefly, I'm sure the elderly victim is over the moon to have this back in her possession.
She is absolutely delighted. I don't think she thought she'd see it in her lifetime. And, of course, for West Yorkshire Police and as our team, we're delighted to have got it back after a year.
Great team effort, Andy. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us that great news. Now, I have just got time to give you a very quick update on your calls. We've got some more arrests to tell you about now as well. Last week, we appealed for your help after an aspiring actor was injured in an unprovoked attack in a bar in London's West End. There he is. Well, as a direct result of the information that you provided, police yesterday arrested 2 men in connection with that incident. So thank you for that. You've also given us some possible names for the man police believe sexually assaulted an elderly woman in her home in Berkshire. Now, their suspect was caught on CCTV in a local shop at around the time of the attack. That was on yesterday's programme. So, Michelle, unfortunately, it's at the end of your week. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I tell you what, it's been an action-packed week, Rav. I started the week in the middle of Salford Quays on a boat, and I've ended the week in the middle of a riot arena. It really has been non-stop. Next week, you'll be joined by Sonali Shah. She'll be looking at arson fire, firearms training and undercover cops catching pickpockets. Join her then.
Thank you, Michelle. For more details about the crimes on today's programme, head to the Crimewatch Roadshow website. Finally, we're going to leave you with another look at today's wanted faces. There they are. If you know where they are, you know what to do. But until Monday, have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.